Hey guys, how are we? Well, I'm determined to get this video shot and I've had a few distractions today, but that's okay, we're going to get there. I ran into a fellow YouTuber just before on the beach, and I think his channel name is Boyfly140, so I hope I didn't appear to be too rude, but I was in mid-flight in shooting a video when he was doing a live stream and he wanted to say hello. Anyhow, look, in this video, basically what I want to do is go into what's happened with the Nord Stream pipelines in Europe. So there's a few things that have happened in the last week, and I think it's starting to get to a real critical point. If we're not already in World War III, whether it be officially or unofficially, I have to say I think we're very, very, very close. So there is a theory called the Sandpile Theory, and basically what it is saying, look, imagine world events, geopolitical, financial and economic, all being interconnected like grains of sand in an hourglass. As each grain of sand comes down and lands upon the other grains of sand, it gets to a critical point where the surface pressure or surface force causes an avalanche. And I think we're getting to that point now in regards to geopolitical events. And I think we're getting to the point now where we're going to see something happen which may even come across as being rather insignificant and trivial and have absolutely world-changing consequences. And I think we're on the cusp of that right now. So the Nord Stream pipeline strikes me as very, very strange, and it should strike you as very, very strange. So, and it has far-reaching consequences, not only for Northern Europe and Russia, but also geopolitically. Now, there's a few things that I want to point out with this, and that is that to be able to blow up these pipelines at their deepest points, you have to be a state actor. You have to have the resources, you have to have the skills in order to blow up that pipeline. Some guy going out there in a dinghy or a fishing boat and dropping some explosives is not going to blow up those pipelines. What we saw were 3 detonations synchronized and going off in strategic points. Now those pipelines are completely destroyed. They will never be able to use those pipelines. Even though those pipelines were brand new, they'd just been completed, weren't even filled with proper natural gas, because salt water has gotten into those pipes, they have lost their structural integrity. They will never be able to be used. So, what does this point to? Well, it doesn't help that Joe Biden and Vitoria Newland, back in February this year, both announced that they would make sure that they would go out of their way to make sure that Russia could not use the Nord Stream pipeline. Now, basically what you're seeing at the moment is people saying, oh, it was Russia who blew it up. That is just absolutely ludicrous to me. That, if you believe that, I think you're an idiot. Because at the end of the day, there is no reason for a country or a company to blow up their own pipeline. So, but we have seen the Americans do this before, and what I'm pointing to is the Bay of Tonkins, which basically triggered the Vietnam War. So, we have a precedent with the US. We also have them declaring that they would make sure that this happened, that the Nord Stream pipelines would never be able to be used by the Russians. And now what this basically does is prevent Northern European countries like Germany and Norway and Finland, etc., utilizing Russian gas later this year, particularly when the Northern European winter sets in. It's going to be extremely, extremely cold. they are desperately dependent on natural gas and other energy supplies to keep themselves warm during the cold winter months. The other consequence that you're seeing at the moment is companies like BASF, which is the biggest chemical producer in Europe and probably one of the biggest chemical producers in the world, who are heavily reliant on natural gas, having to scale back very, very severely their production. Like for example, some of the products they produce are like ibuprofen, are like painkillers, a whole multitude of different products that are used to create other products throughout Europe in manufacturing. So now they're in a situation where BASF have to scale back, and other companies have to scale back production. What you're going to see now is some really major issues start to take place, particularly, as I said, when winter starts to set in. I think what the Americans thought was that they could basically force the Northern Europeans to develop stronger alliances with the US, but I think this is going to backfire. I think what this is going to do is really put the nail in the coffin in regards to any allegiance with NATO and America. So I think what we're about to see at the moment is some very, very interesting times. It could actually force Europe as a whole to turn to Russia, and you could see a complete new set of agreements being drawn up before, during, and after this winter. The other thing to take note of is that you're seeing right-wing governments win or come to power in Europe at the moment. So we saw the latest one this week was Italy. So they're turning their back on the European Union, and this is going to have very, very interesting effects when it comes to NATO and other alliances throughout the Northern Hemisphere. So just keep an eye on that, because this is not going to get better anytime soon. As I said, if you look at the strategic theories, like the Sandpile Theory, we're on the cusp of something really massive. It could be geopolitical, could be financial, could be economic. But I think we're getting to the point now where it may only take just a very small occurrence or a very small situation to take effect before you see a complete avalanche of knock-on effects, geopolitical, financial, and economic. So they say October surprise, and I think we may have a few surprises when it comes to October. I think World War II began and ended on the 2nd of September, and I think at the end of the day we could see World War III officially begin in October this year. That's how full on I think things are going to get. So anyway, guys, if you are in a situation, as I said in a previous video, where you have an IRA and you need to make sure that it is protected against inflation and other market forces, strongly suggest that you roll over your 401k IRA into gold or percentages of gold. For those people in the US, there is a link in the description below. I think it's with retirement, retire with .gold. So you can click on that link in the description below. Anyway, it'll be in the description below. So you'll be able to click on that. And if you're in Australia, Ainsley Bullion, I have certainly dealt with them in the past. Highly recommend them. Ainsley Bullion, level 612 Creek Street. And I don't have their details on me. So, but anyway. Anyway guys, gonna leave that there. Thanks for watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will chat with you soon.